Boom, baby, we're live. And ho, ho, ho. That's what a lot of you guys were raised by. And that's where you come from, a broken family. But Merry Christmas to you. I am a survivor of a broken family. It is me, MLD, from modernlifedating.com. And today, I know it's Thanksgiving. So first and foremost, I would like to wish from the bottom of my heart a very happy Thanksgiving to everybody. God bless you all. I hope you all are having a wonderful time. And the reason I did tonight's episode on Thanksgiving night, titled the way that it is titled, is to really give some instructions to people on what you should do if you come from a broken family. Now, this is not a drama, rage bait filled episode at all. Full disclosure. But if you truly want some help, if you truly want to feel better about your position in life, and if you just want to know how to get through the holiday seasons, if you come from a broken family, whether it's divorce, you had a bad parent, an absent father, an absent mother. Statistically speaking, if you come from a bad home, you come from a single mother home. But we're going to talk about that and so much more on today's episode, because this is a something that is really near and dear to my heart, because I came from a broken family. I am a statistical anomaly. According to statistics, I should be incarcerated, addicted to substances, and have like 19 baby mamas. But I do not. I have survived, and I will show you the way. I will lead you and guide you to truth on today's episode, because the root of all the bad things that are happening in America and Western degeneracy right now is because of a breakdown of the family unit. Broken families make broken people, which makes a broken population. That's where we are right now. When you see, like, it's become a joke. Like when we say, oh, that girl is a giga whore. Why? Oh, she has daddy issues. I mean, daddy's not there. She has like a broken home, or, feminist home, you name it. It's always right there in the United States of America, clear to see. And it's an uncomfortable thing to talk about, because a lot of these influencers, like when you look at the people are looking up to, what are the big names now? People like Sneeko, who's like in his mid-20s, still trying to figure things out. And a lot of these younger guys who don't really know like the root cause of all the things, are just like, make more money and be hotter, then you'll get girls. Like, no, that won't fix the root issue of what's going on up here for you guys, which is, the side effects of coming from a broken family. And we'll talk about that in today's episode. So sit tight and let's get today's holiday party started.
Established.
Make money. Make muscles, learn game, hold frame. It starts with learning dating, and then you move on to something else to push humanity forward. That is the philosophy of modern life dating.
I am teaching you how to be strong. I am teaching you how to be powerful. So when bad things happen to you, you don't quit.
Okay, because you don't know how.
Because you don't know.
No, if I'm not going to explain to myself.
In normal conversation where people aren't sitting around and patronizing you because you're loud and obnoxious, and a lot of people don't want to confront you and tell you that. But I'll tell you that right now, young lady. You're very loud and obnoxious, and you're rude.
You wanted to blow it up and make me seem like something I'm not, and I didn't appreciate that. But that's okay. You can do what you want to do for your content.
Oh boy, somebody's triggered.
And
She's
you can do
triggered.
that. No, Adam sent me a clip.
You should want a woman that you can build with.
She can build me a sandwich.
My man,
It's common sense in every other country in the god world, but here you gotta get out of god Venn diagram and be like, hey, don't post half-naked photos of yourself because you're gonna attract f***ing predators.
Hello, everybody. Welcome aboard. If you just give me a second, I'm talking trash on X. Follow me on X, by the way. I'm over there. It's like my 17th account. The X account is MLD Motivation. So, Merry Christmas. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody. Okay. As you know, I'm a very big holiday enjoyer. I love Christmas. I will always make sure to have a Merry Christmas no matter who I'm with or who's around me. Nobody is going to stop me from being happy, healthy, wealthy, and wise. And we're going to talk about that today because I want to talk about an episode today that's dedicated to people who come from a broken family. And today's episode is going to talk about, a little bit about my story. Not going to go too much in depth of it, but for those of you who don't know, I will be talking about my childhood and the crazy amount of physical and emotional and psychological abuse I went through, because just was raised in a crazy single mother household like a lot of people, and how you can move on from it. And the most important part is the necessary steps you must take in order to move on. Okay. So before we get into that, let's do my favorite part of the show ever. My number one part of the show, the selfish gratitude I always get from doing this is comment review. Sorry, I'm still a little under the weather. Somebody asked me the other day, a nice man in the chat or in the comments, he was like, "Hey, are you sick or is your voice nasally because of the microphone?" I am still a little bit under the weather. As you guys know, I am a Florida man, and the number one way to defeat the Florida man is the Florida man's weakness. You guys know what the Florida man weakness is? It's cold weather. If you want to defeat a Florida man, put him in cold weather and he will quickly submit. I hate winter. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it all. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Shout out to Grizok. What up, John? Thank you for everything you do. I have a broken family full of crackheads, and bringing my long-term girlfriend around them makes me feel embarrassed, and she feels very awkward too. We're going to talk about how to handle that, my friend, so sit tight. And, I respect you. I really respect you for overcoming that and not becoming a crackhead yourself. And shout out to my favorite Peruvian, right? It's Peruvian, right? It's not Panama. It's Peru. It's Peru. I knew it was a P. Peruvian. My lovely friend Milagros. She says, "Happy Thanksgiving, MLD. You're about to make me cry, huh?" This is a very strong woman in the sense that she overcome a lot. She went through some very hard times, and I helped coach her. And now she has a husband and a child, and I believe a second child is on the way. So if she can do it, we can do it. We all can do it. If I can do it, you can do it. Is it hard? Yes, but nothing is harder than living with the scars and permanent damage that comes from coming from a broken family. And when you come from a broken family, a lot of these content creators, they don't get it. Like, like I famously always say, and I'm not taking shots at him, but like I always say, like Myron Gaines doesn't understand the plight of coming from a broken home because Myron came from a very good home. Traditional father, good traditional woman. His mother was not out in these streets being, 304, any of that nonsense. But he doesn't understand what it's like to be a child that was viciously beaten like an animal. He doesn't understand what it's like to be beaten like an animal. And then on top of that, be verbally abused and verbally torn apart by the ones who are supposed to love you. So before we get going, don't forget, we have the MLD free community. So if you feel alone, you feel sad, you feel hopeless, all that stuff, there's a community you can join. We have like more than 40 something people in there. We started this like 4 days ago. I think we started this at the beginning of the week. But anyways, it's pretty wild. But yeah, join the MLD free community. Let me see how many people we got in there. Ahora. We got 43 people, including myself and Billy. So Leo was the latest member to join. That's the MLD free community. Click on that. Telegram is a link. The link right there takes you to an app called Telegram. It's a free chat program where you can honestly communicate with people. And Would love to have you join us in the MLD free community. We don't try to sell you anything in there, nothing. It's just a place for you to go, ask your questions, talk about yourselves. We recently got a pilot in there, really cool guy, Chad Pilot. And yeah, so let's do this, okay? And then, yeah. So let's do comment review, shall we? So real quick, little bonus comment review. I just was polling the audience, and I wanted to get everybody's opinion too. On my latest post, I asked a question. Have you ever met a girl who's used dating apps that's not run through? 266 people voted. Yes, 26% people said that. We have to understand that, you know, the percentage of these guys may have been lied to, and 74% of the men who voted said, no, I have not met a woman who's used dating apps that's not ran through. In my experience, internationally traveling the world, being with, you know, literally hundreds of girls, I have learned that typically when they come from dating apps, they usually have a higher body count. But let's cover yesterday's episode. Fake multimillionaire dating coach Justin Marc was arrested. Allow me to start off. He was arrested for SA. Yikes. 3,300 views, 167 thumbs up, 2 thumbs down. And we have 57 comments, so we have got to move, okay? I'm going to try and... The comments are blowing up lately. I love you all, guys, for leaving comments. Thank you so much. Let me power through these. The new next pod says, made millions, lost millions. That's the truth. Got to learn lessons the hard way sometimes to truly level up. That's the truth. When it rains, it rains. When it pours, it pours. Real wealth doesn't come in a straight line. Thank you so much. Baron Gaslight says, finally, a monogroned bath love. Bro, moving up. If you don't know, this is my second, actually. This was, I had the first one, my black and gold one, but I just didn't end up using it. Ended up giving that to my mom. But just didn't want to use it anymore. But this was bought for me. It's cold as hell, so here we are. Azure Spectrum 1985 says, happy birthday in advance. We're the same age. Thank you so much. Siege Clan 34, WMLD. Icarus, SARS, do not redeem. Dr. B84 says, I don't care what anyone says, but karma's real. If you put out negative energy with bad intentions for a long time, it will come back to you. Big facts. I said, keep me in check, Dr. B. It's not, though, but you are free to live in La La Land. Okay, that's wrong. What goes around comes around. Not true at all. Actually, it is very true, but it's okay. You can learn. I'm going to give a thumbs up to the people who support me and heart. Marriage causes divorce. 2 great British pounds. Super chat says MLD is on one of the greatest generational runs of all time. I love you, buddy. First, Adam Sosnick gave up his YouTube show. Then Destiny got divorced and now facing creepy lawsuits and legal charge and criminal charges. He's facing that as well. Then Marquette got banned. Marquette didn't get banned. He got demonetized. You know, the one guy who claims he's worth millions of dollars consistently begging for super chats. Yeah, doesn't add up, eh? Rolo got robbed, and then the fat kid in Brazil got canceled. He got his YouTube channel deleted. Then Moff dumped Richard Pooper. Pooper dumped Moff. I don't blame Moff. Richard's that's his pattern. Now Justin Marc, incredible to see how many bodies MLD's taking in real life. Time for Hollywood to make a film about MLD. WMLD still undefeated, highly favored to go. Love you so much. Thank you so much. Marriage Cause says, Marriage Cause Divorce says, UC Dental review does not show up. Only 1 negative review from a year ago. Yeah, W shadow bans by Google. MLD taking nothing but W's. First name, last name, 9616 is Fargle. Mac filing makes me think of McLovin from Superbad. Yeah, new next pod says, thanks MLD again. Arjun says, I knew it. That guy was a weasel from the day I saw this guy pop up everywhere on social media. I believe giving people the benefit of doubt, not fully, but our instincts are there for a reason. Big facts. People say, but John interviewed you. Yeah, I did. I was tricked. Verify, but don't trust, eh? Nothing is for sure yet. Well, we'll see. Cat's out the bag. This breakdown proved it. Facts. I love when people are like, oh, don't celebrate when someone gets canceled. You need to defend them. Screw that. I'm not on the same team with these guys that do soft pay for play, or attract SA accusations or just scammers in general. For me, that's like Julian Blanc 10 years ago. That's not Red Pill. That's not my team. Fuck him. Feminists can do what they want to him and all these clowns. You can actually learn game and get women to submit to you without willingly, without the stress of accusations that are serious enough to get charged over. True. Ralph says, he talks about high vibrational, but sent that video. What vibration does he think he's on? Especially those calls, bad mouthing people. He needs to stop running and big talk. because he's annoying a lot of people who can hurt him badly. Mr. Chi Wolf says it's a rare Brazilian blobfish sighting in the live chat. Yeah, I know, right? I gotta escape Toronto. Dog, the city sucks, says Amira. Tack. Yeah, get out. I've been here with you, bro, says NBA Crypto Boy. Thank you, NBA Crypto Boy. You're a longtime supporter and fan. I love you. Karma so real. All the scammers going down. MLD remains. Thank you, Pro Special. D2MXML NL MLD Social Media Redemption Arc. This live had a lot of viewers. He's starting to get traction again. And I wrote this. Stay tuned. Success is not an accident. There was a big clue in today's episode. Did you guys get the big clue in yesterday's episode or last time I did this episode? Did you guys get the clue? Something great has happened on this channel, and we'll talk about that in a second. Shaber, if you need veneers read done properly, there's a guy in New York I used to edit social media content for. He's really reputable and Jewish. LOL. His name is Dr. Alexander Rubinoff. I'm going to Korea. Thanks, though. First name, last name. I knew Justin Mark was too good to be true. BG Tucker. John, you're winning. Charlie Sheen, thank you. Mr. R4. Drive and O2 Accord with 202K miles on it. Good way to not look rich. Facts. Brooklyn Powell. Ho, ho, ho. Thanks. Icus. LOL. If anyone knows him, I knew him back when he was a PWA back in RSD days. And this guy was just a moron. He would see me in the club. He'd go back home. He would ask me, yo, buddy, what's your kill count this week? I kissed 10 girls, brought 2 back to my place, got 30 phone numbers. Like, WTF. Yeah, it was a bit much. Lakshen. If I have a son, I'm going to make sure he watches MLD. Thank you. He will be based. What does the race of Jesus have to do with anything? If he was a man of color, would your love for him be any different? Skin color obsession is so backwards. Someone's deeds are what's important, not your favorite shade of skin. And I wrote yes. I said thank white Jesus. He got offended. It was a joke. Obviously, Jesus wasn't white. He was born in the sand area. Toronto, you misspelled Bangladesh. LOL. Bruh. Toronto, you mean New Mumbai? 7% of the population at best, says Manveer Parma. Not cool, man. I wish this on nobody. I do. Arshad, Siri, play God is. I don't know what that means. Bill Lusher. Wait, I thought you were cool, Justin. What happened? As I watch the video and find out. TJ Blackmore. Damn, bro. I never liked your content, but I love seeing WN. Is that white niggas? Get some karma retribution from the enemies. I said, thanks, bro. Greatness for everybody. And he says, you're right, man. 40 live viewers. I'll get there somewhere. Hey, you got to try, bro. How many live viewers you got right now? 0? It's the same amount of bitches you get, right? It's okay. It's congruency. I like it. Daily CG 2023 WMLD. Thank you so much. And let's see if the filter banned any of you guys. Got to go to sort by newest. Let's see. Oh, wow. Crazy. Why are you this happy about another man's downfall? You sound like a psycho. Hey, I am Yagami Laito. Hey, can you reach out to me, please? Kawabe Kawasaki. I don't know who you are, bro. Email me. If you need help, email me. The email is always in the description box. I'm from Toronto. Everybody knows that guy's a joke. A dweep, a peon, a poser, says Avatar Money 01. And Justin is doing typical Indian nigga activities. Spaced out Chris. Thank you, Chris. Calvin, Indian dating coaches is crazy work. Indian have the roughest time. And time again, they're considered the most unattractive group. W. You mean Amit Patel? That's their definition of game. Is show me your bobs to OF girls. Look at all these things got blocked. See how YouTube just loves banning everybody, shadow banning. The only gripe I have with this, many of us trusted him as a reliable source because you recommended him via men. I know. Otherwise, I'm certain many of us wouldn't have been on board with him without your blessing. I know. I was tricked too, bro. Listen, he owes me like $15,000. These guys are a dime a dozen these days. Feminine, pathological, lying, simps with zero game. Any man that fake smiles for photos, instantly red flag. I'm glad I don't like to smile for photos. Like, if you see me, the last time I like genuinely smiled is when I met the CEO of acquisition.com, Sharav, the Indian guy. He's a real cool person. Yeah. So let's see. Families fed. Here, nursing my son. All men start this small. Praise the Lord. And then Bright Side Demon. I have bone arthritis in my shoulder. I can't make muscles at the time, as you say. Can I still pull? Serious question. Yes, you can still pull. You do train. If I can train with a broken pectoral and 2 ACLs that are cooked in my knees, and I've been training like that and fighting and sparring and hurting people and sparring, big people too. with 2 cooked knees, you can do it too, man. You'll be all right. If there's a will, there's a way. So let's talk about today's episode. Shout out to my 40 live viewers, as this guy said, the other guy who was talking crap. Shout out to the people watching me on Rumble as well. So yeah, most people who are in happy, healthy, functioning families, they're not here online watching stuff, and that's okay. I made this episode today because I wanted to just talk about what to do if you come from a broken family. Okay, so I have a list here, and the list is just a quick, it's 9 points, but I'm going to kind of go through them and talk about it one by one. Okay. And we're just going to jump right into it. So step number 1 is you got to tell the truth about the damage, the abuse, the chaos, the fear, the shame. And you have to identify clearly and accept, first of all, that you come from a broken family. Okay. If you're and just to define the broken family, if at any point during your childhood you just have negative memories, you have negative memories about being physically beaten. Okay. If you come from a single mother household, statistically speaking, you probably endured a lot of abuse. That's just what single mothers do. They abuse, they raise messed up kids. And it's tough to really come to grips with it, because when you're raised in a household where the family is broken, the problem is you normalize it, right? And so you're like, oh, well, everybody's parents hit them, right? I was beaten with every type of device known to man. Who was beaten with a wooden spoon? I was beaten with a wooden spoon. Who was beaten with a belt? I was beaten with a belt. Who was whipped with extension cords? I know that's my black friend told me about that. I wasn't whipped with extension cords. Not that I can honestly remember, because I just was beaten so much. Like, beatings were just a part of my life. I think that's why I ended up becoming such a avid practitioner of, martial arts and whatnot, is because I just didn't want to get beat up anymore. And I started training and doing stuff at a young age, about like 14-ish. I was my freshman year in high school, where I joined the wrestling team. And thank God, because the wrestling team, and I had a family member, or I had a friend who he came from a more normal family than I did. Parents were still together, and thank God that family gave me some kind of semblance of normality in life. Because then I would go to their house, they were white, and I would always go and be like, wow, they always have food in the fridge. The parents are like never really arguing, and mom is not always there, just like sitting there like talking shit to the kids. Exodia says, I was beaten. I too was beaten with a wire coat hanger. Thanks for bringing back the memories. That I remember that too. That was a good old 90s beating, right? What are mothers beating their kids with these days? I had everything thrown at me. I had PlayStations thrown at me. Let me just give you the breakdown of all the abuse that I went through. Okay. So 1, I was physically beaten. I was beaten, and to the point that I would bleed. I was beaten to the point that I would be bruised. I would often be, very, very injured as a child. The majority of the abuse occurred when I was ages, I would say the majority of my abuse was ages like 8 to 12. Like when I was 13, I started to become a man. Puberty started to hit me, and I started to get big enough to like push my attackers away. So that was the first level of abuse. I was, often beaten, physically beaten, and then told I was going to hell. I was a kid, by the way. All right. And it's crazy because I have nephews now, and my favorite nephew is he's 10 right now, and I love him the most. And every time I look him and I hug him and I give him a kiss, I'm like, oh, buddy, I love you so much. And if anybody messes, you call me. Uncle John will come with his AR-15, his AR-12, and both his Glocks. and Uncle John will fix every problem that comes your way. And I love this kid to death. And I could never in a million years think of raising my hand to strike and hit this kid. Never. Because he's just a skinny little defenseless child. And it's so, these people who do this to children are monsters, okay? And if you were beaten like this as a child, you were raised by a monster. And you have to accept it, and you have to label it for what it is: abuse from a psychopath, a monster, a person who belongs in the bottom of a lake, in like Jesus said, right? Tie a stone around their neck and throw them into a lake. You should not be beating children. I know that sounds like kind of common sense, but you can't be beating children to the point that they're bleeding and bruised, and let alone doing it for years and years on end. And that's what happened to me. It was not fun. It was very traumatic. It sucks. It follows you. I'm going to be, on Monday, I'm going to be 40, and I'm still talking about this. Now I'm healed and I'm overcome it, right? But it does follow you for the rest of your life. Like, it is ingrained in who you are. During your developmental years, you are traumatized with violence, and it's not okay. That's never okay. All right. So, excuse me. The second thing is the psychological and emotional abuse I went through. I was constantly told, I'm going to hell. I was constantly told, you're going to burn in the lake of fire. The rapture is going to happen. That's like when you're a Christian, right? And the one day they say all the Christians are just going to disappear from the earth and go to heaven. And then only the sinners will be left behind on planet Earth. And then they will have their head cut off if they do not accept the mark of the beast on their forehead or their right hand, which is the 666, right? And so I was always living in fear. I was always holding my Bible, and it was so fucked up, man. Like, I was always like told to go to church, and I would be getting my ass beat in like the church parking lot. Like, I was just like, beatings were a staple part of my childhood. I was robbed of a good childhood. I do not know what a good childhood is like. Okay. And it's very hard to go through those things. And it causes lasting scars. So not only was I beaten, but I was emotionally tormented. So constantly told I'm not good enough. I even won Kid of the Year, right? I won Kid of the Year at my church, which is like, you were voted like the best kid in church. And I remember when I won Kid of the Year, my mom was influenced a lot by my crazy Aunt Millie. Everybody knows crazy Aunt Millie on this channel. And Aunt Millie was the real psycho of them all. And she was like, wow, I remember she said specifically, okay, this is a Christian woman. She was like, you shouldn't have, I was like 10 or 11 at the time. She said, you shouldn't have won Kid of the Year. You should have won Snake of the Year, because you were able to deceive everybody in church into thinking you're a good little boy when actually you're a bad little boy. Keep in mind, this same bitch was fucking hitting on the head pastor at the time, and she ended up having sex with him, and he divorced his wife and got with her. This is what she was fucking the pastor, having sex with the pastor of Upper Room Assemblies of God in Miami, Florida. I'm never forget, his name was Pastor Bruce Klepp, K-L-E-P-P. And old Aunt Millie was sucking his dick, right? Breaking that family apart, because she's a treacherous whore. And she would always come and talk shit to me. And her kids turned out to be real fucking losers too, right? Funny enough. So that happens. And then the ongoing psychological abuse was, you're just a bad kid. You're a bad little boy. You're a demon possessed, you know? My mom would say shit like, oh, I wish I never had you kids. You kids are a burden to me, and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, sorry, you're out here getting fucked and getting pregnant. Like, I didn't ask you to go get fucked and get pregnant. Like, I didn't ask you to go get used up by these men. Like, I'm here because you were doing this. Like, I'm sorry. I'm a reminder of your bad choices, but sorry, bitch, I'm here to live now, you know? So that was constantly, it was just my whole childhood, which is sub 18 years old. I was just constantly told, you're not good enough. You're a piece of shit. You're a bad kid. You're going to hell. Nothing was ever good enough. No matter, even if I got straight A's, because in high school, I was a good student. I read my Bible. I was a good kid. I didn't lose my virginity till like 2 weeks, or not. I think it was like a week. I literally lost like around this time. Like I remember it was Thanksgiving time. I lost my virginity. Some freaking 16-year-old chick who was doing coke at a party. She was some model, some white chick. And I remember I had sex with her, and that's when I lost my virginity. But like sub 18 years old, it was just there's almost no good memories. The only good memories I had were like because my mom couldn't be an abusive like piece of shit in public, so we often went to church, and the youth church in Orlando, Florida, went to Faith Assembly of God, and from there at least I was able to get some kind of stability. I would get a break from going to hell and being told I'm a bad person all the time, right? So that was really just very hard to deal with. It was very, very heavy. And I grew up with like a complex. I constantly just felt like I always felt like an outcast. I always felt like I was the one who didn't belong. Something was wrong with me. And, that kind of insecurity forms in you when you have no security at home. You see, your home is supposed to be a sacred place. Your home is where you come and close the door and okay, at least I'm safe here. At least I'm safe here. At least no one's going to come kick down the door and beat me up and tell me all these bad things. But I didn't have that safety. I didn't have that safety until I moved out and when I was like early 20s, right? And I know a lot of you guys still deal with this kind of nonsense to this day. So you have to label it. You have to come to terms and be like, let me just objectively look at this situation here. Am I a bad person? And I would always think of it, because what's funny? When I was in youth church and stuff and like doing all the church activities, like I was actually good. I was actually not having sex with anybody. I was not, doing drugs or smoking weed or doing this stuff that a lot of these church members were doing. And I remember one of the big things that kind of gave me like kind of like my own red pilling about religion is a couple years later, there was this lady named Miriam, and I really looked up to her in the church. I thought she was a good woman. And I remember I started working at this nightclub. It was called Bliss Nightclub in Orlando. And in Bliss Nightclub, I remember I saw Miriam and she was drunk and she was like grinding on a guy and kissing, and she was married. She had gotten a divorce, but she was married to like one of the nicest guys in church, like a good-looking guy with muscles. His name was Nehemiah, but he was a Spanish guy. We called him Nemo. He was such a nice guy. He like built his house from scratch. He had a child from a relationship, but he remarried with Miriam. And then I remember just seeing her there, like being a whore, and I was like, and then I started to reconnect with other members of the church, and they would tell me, yeah, like during the church time, people I looked up to, they're like, yeah, I was having sex with this girl, and I was having sex with this girl. And I remember like my whole world came crushing down. And I was like, what the fuck? Like all you people are pieces of shit. Like the same thing you would stand on the pulpit and preach about and talk about, oh, well, the Lord has healed me and I'm a good Christian and I have like, I do not fall temptation to the flesh and this and that. All a lie. All a lie. And that's why I really, really just don't like people who are not real, because I was tricked, right? I don't like people. I don't like liars. People who lie are the number one thing that I hate in my life. If you have the audacity to lie to me, I assure you, once I catch you, it'll be the last lie. And if there's one instance of betrayal or breaking a promise or anything, and you don't even try to collect it, you're done. I'm done with you, right? You'll be blocked on everything, and I'll just carry on with my life. Because in order to get some sanity for yourself, you need to clearly identify What is abuse? What is bad? What is, being treated badly? A lot of people they come from these broken homes, then they go to a job, and then people at the job treat them bad, right? One of the guys I'm coaching right now is a guy in his early 30s. Yeah, it's a good guy. His name's Jonathan. He's a really good guy. And I could tell that he came from a bad home. And I talked to him, and we've been coaching him. He's in my monthly coaching, and he's a great guy. And I said, one of the best things you could do to develop some real confidence is just learn to fight. As a man, just learn to fight. It gives you a real rock solid confidence that a lot of people can't take from you, because if worse comes to worse, if somebody tries to swing on you, if somebody tries to do you dirty, somebody tries to mess with you, like, hey, worse comes to worse, I can handle myself. And it gives you a sense of peace. It gives you a sense of security. And recently there's some fat girl at his job who was like mouthing off to him, and he told her, he checked her, he's like, hey, don't talk to me like that. That's all he said. And guess who's all fat and jollier than old fucking Santa Claus every time he comes around? This chick, because he stuck up for himself. See, the reason why America's in the trouble that it is right now is because men have, A, not been told how to stick up for themselves, and B, they feel guilty when they do stick up for themselves. But you, as a man who is the commander of your own life, you need to label when somebody does bad things to you. So if somebody lies to you, that's not okay. If somebody's always angry, if somebody's always mean, if one little thing sets them off, that is a form of emotional abuse. I witnessed emotional abuse, and I didn't even know this was a thing until later in life. And here's a very common thing, okay? I see this happen with mothers all the time, especially in America. It's like when you try to make a point and you have a solid point, and then they just emotionally blow up and get angry. If you're like, why are you always angry? Why are you always, why didn't you say sorry for this thing you did to me? Why did you do this bad thing to me? And then they're like, they just blow up and get angry. That's them, A, avoiding accountability, and B, enacting emotional abuse. That's a form of emotional tyranny, when they try to shame you and keep you down and oppress you with their behavior. Not okay. Not okay at all. There is no justification for this. So if you're dealing with that right now, if it's a man or woman, regardless, you have to understand that is an unhealthy person. That's a person with bad mental health. If somebody's always angry, they have a mental health problem. If somebody's always lying, they have a mental health problem. So when people come from abused households, what do? They always make excuses for these people because that's what they had to do as a child to survive. They'd be like, oh, well, yeah, my mom is beating me, but that's because I would make her angry. How'd you make her angry? Oh, I didn't finish my homework. So you didn't finish your homework, so your mom thought beating the fuck out of you, or your dad thought beating the fuck out of you is okay? Please make it make sense, because it doesn't. So step one is to identify the abuse, identify the toxic behavior. That is step one, and make peace with it, okay? Step two is the most important part, all right? That's the most important part. And step two is you need to get distance from the toxicity. So your nervous system can calm down, because you're living in this on edge flight or fight all the time. You're constantly around it. These sick people, these abusive people, they don't get better, okay? My mom is about to be 60, okay? And my mom is still a very emotionally unstable and abusive person. She doesn't like to say sorry to anybody. She always thinks she's right. Everybody's wrong. She lies. She manipulates, okay? And the craziest part is she pretends to be a good person to church. She pretends to be a good person at her meetups for her political shit that she goes to, all that crap. So again, if you're dealing with a family member who treats you badly, but then when you go out in public, all of a sudden they're a different person. That's an extremely dangerous, emotionally abusive person that you need to avoid. And the reason why you need to avoid them is because you are the one who will break the curse of abuse in your family. You are the one. It is up to you. And thank God that you're here watching. Thank God that you have an idea of what the abuse situation is, because it's like they're toxic people, and you have to get away from them. You have to get away. Negative people, people who are angry all the time, toxic people, if they don't heal themselves, they're just going to drag you down into hell with them, because that's all they know how to do. You have to cut them off, and it has to be permanent. You have to establish boundaries. You have to say, you know what? Guess what? I'm not coming home for Christmas. You know, if they want to wish you Merry Christmas, wish you whatever, fucking, you don't owe them shit. They had a long time to be a good parent, good family member, whatever. So that's not on you to fix their shit. That's on them. Okay. So Arthur, here's a question. Arthur Dunn, he says, so do you love your mom from a distance, John? I mean, love? No. Why would I love somebody who's going to be, okay, that's the number one thing, guys. You have to understand. These people don't deserve your love. They don't deserve the greatness that you have cultivated just in spite of them. Because when you're a person who is abused as a kid and you come from a bad home, most people start at zero in life, right? When you're abused and you come from a bad household, you're starting off at like minus 25, minus 50, minus 60. Most people never recover from this, right? Most people never recover from this. So, you got to be really cut and dry with what is the truth about your circumstances. You just have to be real. You have to be aware. You have to. So, what did you do to overcome this? Listen, and I'll tell you, okay? But like, you need to cut them off, and it's forever. I work with guys. I see guys in their 40s that still have bad parents around them that are still tormenting them, and these men are still screwed up. There's a lot of shame that men feel when because remember, I talk about it often. I call them the de facto husbands, right? A lot of these single moms, what they'll do, they'll raise the son up to be their servant, and then the son is consistently, doing husband roles for the mom, paying her bills, taking care of her, and robbing him of his life because she can't get her shit together. Because she's always like parasitically attached to her kids to extract value from them, right? And that's why the movie The Joker was so popular. Remember The Joker? They psyop that for real. Joker Part 2, spoiler alert if you haven't watched, but Joker Part 2, he gets raped in jail by a bunch of men, and they humiliate that guy publicly, because in Joker Part 1, it was like they didn't realize they were creating a hero for a lot of men who come from broken families. And there's a scene where he gets tired of his mom, who's been lying to him and abusing him his whole life, keeping him in the shadows. And he takes a pillow when she's in the hospital and he suffocates her, puts the pillow on her face and kills her, right? Now, I'm not telling you to go do that, but I'm saying that scene was celebrated amongst a lot of men who are struggling in the United States of America, worldwide, really. And because that's what's happening. That's actively happening right now. Okay, these people, they can't get their crap together. And so they're a parasitic drain on everybody around them. They drain you emotionally. And that's the number one thing. The fastest way to tell if you come from an abusive household is when you hang out with abusive members, or they text you, they call you, and you just feel emotionally drained. Okay, when you're in a happy relationship, Your relationship partner, your girlfriend should make you happy. Your wife should make you happy. She should recharge your energy. She shouldn't drain your energy. She should recharge you and make you feel like you can do anything. That's a good woman. That's a good relationship. Okay. If you're with a woman and she's constantly draining you, making you feel bad, always fighting, why do you want to be with somebody like that? If somebody's always fighting you and every time you're just fighting, conflict. Like when I hang out, when I like with my mom or my sister, anytime I cut my sister off years ago and I just don't even want to deal with my mom. Right. But it's like I always say it's like a countdown to the fight. I'm like, it's a countdown to drama. It's like they're stable for a little bit, but then there's some kind of drama coming their way because they are the fucked up person. They're the one with bad psychological makeup, right? Yeah, Johnny Depp. Yeah, right here. Somebody says it in the chat. Excuse me. R.I.P. Johnny Depp. Johnny Depp came from a very abusive household. And his mom was the abuser, and his dad stayed there. And why do you think Johnny Depp stayed so long with Amber Heard after this woman shit in his bed? Do you understand? If a woman shit in my bed, I would lose it. I would be like, did you just shit in my bed? I would fucking kick her out immediately. I'd probably take that sheet full of this shit and smear it on her face so she learns never to shit in my bed again. Okay? Which is very disgusting behavior. But he stayed with her even after that. Because why? Because as a kid, when he talked about this, he testified, he always watched his father be abused by his mother. Okay. Rock and roll Scotty, he says this family trauma takes years off your life. It can if you don't heal it correctly. Okay. So step 1 is to identify the abuse. Step 2 is to leave. There is no coming back. You must understand, and it is what it is. But if you ever want to have a happy family, a semblance of normalcy in your life, you have to cut off the abusers. Okay? You have to cut off the people who are abusing you, the people who treat you bad. If you're with somebody and they're always putting if you're in a relationship with somebody or family or whatever, and everything, their job is more important to you, their hobby is more important to you, everything is more important than you, then that person is not a good match for you. That's not a good relationship partner. That's a bad girlfriend. That's a bad friend. That's a bad family member. It's a bad wife. And you need to try and fix it. And if they don't want to fix it, then you have to leave. Because if not, they're just going to drag you down. That's all they know how to do, is to destroy. All they know how to do is break things down and destroy things and ruin things. That's all they know how to do. So you have to get them away from you. Because in order to have a good life, what do you have to do? You have to build. I had to build my life that I have now brick by brick by myself. Nobody was cheering me along. Nobody was giving me extra money. Nobody was helping me along the way. It was just me grinding and figuring it out on my own. It was very, very hard. But now I have a good life. I have a great audience that you guys watch me and support me, and I love you guys so much for being here through thick and thin. And it's something you have to rebuild. Okay? And that ties into number 3. But real quick, before we get going, I want to sell you something. Just joking. I'm fucking with you. You thought I was going to sell you something. But remember yesterday, I have some good news real quick, talking about rebuilding. Do you guys remember yesterday, if you watched the Justin Marc episode, some guy said, hey, yeah, I know Justin Marc. I was like, wow, interesting. How did you find me? He's like, I found you through YouTube. Do you know what that means? No one caught that. I think the shadow ban has been lifted from my channel because I was discovered by a new viewer. That's a W right there. That's a big W. So now it's time to go 10x. Now it's time to keep going, right? So that teaches me number 3. So remember, step number 1 is identify the abuse. Step 2 is get away from the abusers. They do not change. I know you guys want your mom, you want your dad, you want your uncle, you want your aunt, you want your family member, whoever it is, you want them to level up because you're a good person. You want them to change because you have changed. That's why you're here watching this kind of content. Okay? But you're special because most people do not even become aware of this abuse. And it's very hard to overcome it. It's very emotionally painful. But on the other side, there is relief. There is victory. And you can get it. You know, you can escape and you can be happy. Right? It is totally possible. So keep that in mind. Brian T, he writes something very important. He says, this is a big topic for men today. I'm 45 and went through this with my family. I wish I had never come home from the military and started a new life elsewhere when I was young. I feel you, Brian. Brian, I really feel you, man. Listen, it's no coincidence. Scott, my best friend. Love you, Scott. Who is that? Is that her? Is that Scott in New York? Is that the girl? I see a girl in there. But you know, but you have to get away from it. So again, step 1, identify it. Step 2, get away from it. And then step 3, you have to build a new identity around competence instead of victimhood by setting brutal, concrete challenges and defeating them yourself, right? I was able to succeed in life because when I was 26 years old, I was like, let's see, everybody around me in my circle here in Orlando, Florida, they're all fat. They're all losers. They all just want to smoke weed and play video games. They don't want to get money and they don't want to chase women like I do. These are not my people. And I don't think this is a good way to live life. And so what did I do? I packed all my bags and I took a one-way flight to Tokyo, Japan on November 4th, 2012. And I told myself that I will make something out of myself, or I will die trying. You know, I grew up in high school. I went to high school 2000 to 2004. And there's a hip hop album by 50 Cent called Get Rich or Die Trying. And that was my motto. Because the white people that I used to hang out with, they were very rich. They were multi-millionaire home, multi-millionaire household. And I was just like, I want what these white people have. Stability and money and fridge full of food, right? And, you know, I just saw that and I was like, if they have it, that means I can get it too. And I was thinking, well, motherfucker, I'm already at ground zero here. I'm already broke and broken. Like, I literally can only go up. And let me just shoot my shot and keep going. You know, I started my self-development journey after I got arrested for smoking weed in the summer of 2006. And I spent like a night in jail. It's terrible. You know, traumatized me. And so, you know, after seeing that, I was like, hell no, I'm getting into self-development. And I went online and I found a guy who helped me out named Player Supreme, black guy, you know, coached me out of this nonsense and helped me figure out my value as a young man. And that's when I started training combat training a little bit more effectively, more jujitsu, started boxing, started sparring and training with people in like my mid-20s and stuff. Just started standing up for myself. And I remember it was a pinnacle moment. I talk about it often on the channel, but I'll quickly brush on it here because it's part about building a new identity and building a new life. I remember there was this local drug dealer that would always come in to the Grey Goose 180 Lounge. And on Wednesday night, we had to wear pink suspenders because it was ladies' night. And I remember the guy walked up to me and he pulled my suspenders back and let go, and it snapped and it hit me in the chest and it stung and hurt me. And I was like, hey, bro, don't do that. And he got in my face and he was like, what did you say? I said, don't do that. What's wrong with you? Like, you don't just walk up to people and pull their suspenders and hurt people in public. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Right? And he's like, oh, really? You a tough guy now? I remember there was this hot Jewish chick that I wanted to have sex with. Her name was Leia, like Princess Leia. And she was behind the bar and Leia was watching me. And there was this older Italian guy, Frank. He's like, he's 44. And I like Frank. Frank was a real man's man. He just got out of a bad divorce. His ex-wife's parents stole like $250,000 from him, and then she divorced him. And Frank was having to rebuild everything from ground up, you know? And man, you know, I didn't want to let him down. So this guy's getting all gangster with me, and I was like, he's like, you want to fight? I was like, let's go downstairs. And I didn't back down. And I was like, I may not win this fight, but I'm not gonna fucking back down, that's for sure. And I'm gonna go fucking full white man crazy on him. You know, I wrestled in high school too, so he wouldn't stand a chance. No majority of population has no idea how to stop a double leg takedown, let alone a blast double from a young guy in his mid-20s, full of angst, right? So we walk over the elevator, push the button, 6 floors, we're waiting for it to come up, and I'm just staring at him. And then he was like, man, you know, it's not even worth it. And he walked away, and he went, you know, bought a table or whatever. Fast forward like 2 weeks later, I saw this guy at a nightclub called Tier in Orlando before it was overrun with hood people. Downtown Orlando used to be lit. And then he was like, yo, bro, what's up, man? Oh my God, bro. Hey, come over to my VIP. He was popping bottle. He was drinking, you know, some Dom P or something. He was pouring me up some champagne. He's like, dude, are you in the military? He's like, what's going on? He's like, you're a badass motherfucker, bro. You're a bad motherfucker. And in my mind, I was like, damn, this guy didn't know. I was like terrified at the time, but I don't care, terrified or not. I'm going out on my shield. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna let people stand on me and bully me anymore. And you two at home, you have to stand up for yourself. You have to, guys, you have to stand up for yourself. That's why I added frame at the end of what I said. When initially I used to say money muscles game, money muscles game, money muscles game, but then I realized most guys had no frame. Most guys didn't even know what frame is. When you're coming from a broken family, or you're coming out of an abusive relationship, and you're hurt, you're broken, and everything's just painful, right? What you need to do is you need to fucking rebuild who you are and stick up for yourselves. So that's what frame is. And frame is deciding boundaries, who you are, what's okay in your life, what's not okay in your life. Like for me, if I'm in a relationship, I'm like, okay, you're my girlfriend and she cheats, there's no forgiveness. I don't care if I have kids, nothing. I don't care if I'm 50 something, I'll fucking divorce her. It's over, because that's my frame. That's my boundary in life. Okay. And everybody has different frames and everybody has different boundaries, but what's important is you make your boundaries. And that's what step 3 is. You have to create a new identity. You have to come up with a new frame. Okay. You have to come up with new standards for yourself. And then you have to defend them, because people will, it's not like you just make frame and then everything's a happy kumbaya story. No, you need to make frame, make your boundaries, and then you have to defend them, because people will try to tear you down. That's what they do. Okay. That's not a good place to be. It's a very, very unhappy place to be. Okay. And you have to defend your frame, because you'll feel so bad when you don't defend it, right? And that's step 3. So, you know, but again, step 2 is the most important. You have to get rid of these people. No contact. You're done. We're done. Our relationship's over. Unless you go to like a tremendous amount of therapy and come and say sorry and show that you've truly have made a big change in your psychological makeup, we're done. We're done. It's over. Our relationship is done. No, you can't say sorry. Sorry. A lot of people who abuse, you know what they like to say? They always say, oh, but I said sorry. I said sorry. I said sorry. Sorry is nothing. Sorry means nothing if their behavior doesn't change. Write that down somewhere. Sorry means nothing if the person does not change their bad behavior. Yeah, when they say stuff like this is a real evil thing. That I'm sorry you feel that way. If somebody says, oh, I'm sorry you feel that way, that is a very arrogant, prideful person, and you're probably going to do better without them, honestly speaking. Okay. Basil says, I'm glad I used to stand up to my controlling mom back in the day. Now our relationship is good. Thanks God. Yeah. You know, and some people, when you stand up to them, they bow down and they, you know, respect you. If they don't No, they have to go. Goodbye. Goodbye. Okay. Let's see. Would you cut off a girlfriend if you found out she indulged in mud shark activities? If she hid that, that would be a problem. If like if she was hiding stuff and pretending to be somebody she's not, then that's a problem, right? But you know, you want to understand that all relationships are built on trust. And if somebody's going to lie to you and break promises, then they're breaking the trust. And if they're breaking the trust, they're breaking the relationship. Sorry, my sock was on inside out and like my full OCD brain was like, we must fix this right now. My sock is now on correctly. Okay. I hear some. If you guys want to chime in the chat, go ahead, because this is more like a more intimate Thanksgiving kind of episode. That's a little bit more on the heavier side. But if you want to participate, send a super chat, or you know, I'll read what you have. A Supreme Cobra Commander says, "That's why I did not eat Thanksgiving with anyone tonight. No apologies, despite opportunities for people to do so. It's okay. It's okay. I know the feeling. I know the feeling. Okay, you did the right thing." And it is even like it was said in the Bible, it's better for you to live on the corner of a rooftop than in the same house as a quarreling woman. Okay, a lot of your mothers are quarreling women. A lot of your aunties, you know, a lot of these women that just can't get their act together, you know, it's fucking, they're they're quarreling women. They're just fucking, they're messed up people. And if they don't repair their bad mental health, if they don't stop being so angry all the time, if they don't stop being so manipulative all the time, if they don't stop being so draining on you all the time, then they're going to just continue to drain you and your life will be wasted. Okay? Your life will be wasted. Okay? Jethro says, I hear you. I left the mother of my kids because I gave her a couple of chances and she messed up 3 kids, 8 years. And then I found this kind of content right after I broke it off. You did the right thing, Jethro. You did the right thing. You know, I know it's hard, but it is what it is. Would you allow your future children around your mother? No. No. Why would I? Like, why? Why? You know, to be around me, okay, you guys need to have the same mindset that I have. And don't think like, oh, it's just because I have money or whatever, okay? I'm tightening my belt because I'm about to give you some black belt fucking game here, all right? Look, guys, you have to understand that you need to make this kind of mindset for yourself. It is a privilege to be around me. It is a privilege to be around me. And I'm not just saying that because I'm like, you know, I've become successful or whatever. But in order to become successful, you must internalize good behaviors. You must internalize good principles of success, being a calm person, being a level-headed person, being a good person, being somebody who adds energy, right? A lot of people, when they talk to me, they say, oh man, after I feel so energized, I feel so pumped up, I feel like I can do anything. Okay. And that is the number one thing that's the most important part of being a successful person is you cultivate a great personality. You're a person of character. You're a person of morals. You're a person of you know, justice, of right and wrong, right? And you're a hardworking individual. And you got to understand, it's a privilege to be around you. So you can't cast your pearls to swine, like the Bible says. You know what I mean? I wouldn't even say this. Andre says you must compartmentalize people. I don't even, I disagree. If somebody is bad, there is no compartmentalization. You're just out of the circle. You're outside. You are not allowed in. You can't sit with us. You're not a good person. I am a good person. You can't be around me. We are water and oil. It's so important that once you make the new identity, okay, you have to defend it. Okay. Supreme Cobra Commander says, I'm happier after cutting out all the toxic people in my life. Me too. Toxic people. People who always trouble, always fighting, always angry, always bad attitude, never want to level up, never want to be happy, never want to be calm. Everything's trouble with these people. Why should you keep those people around? Why? Like legitimately why? I want to know. Okay? I think I saw one in the chat I wanted to read. No, okay. So let's continue. So number 3 was build a new identity, right? And keep the people out. And then number 4, this is a little bit, okay, this is another thing. So number 4 is you have to go straight to the psychological poison within yourself with real inner work, not just motivation, okay? And the fastest way, and I want to tell you guys this because I'm starting to, as I continue to get more and more in depth with my coaching, I've noticed this, and this is going to be something you need to understand. I've seen it time and time again, okay? If you live in a very dirty home, if you have a bunch of stuff everywhere, if you're hoarding, if you're living in filth, that is extremely bad for your mental health. You have to clean up your house. You have to throw away things you don't use. You have to throw away a lot of stuff in your house if you're one of these hoarding people who don't live in a clean atmosphere. Okay? If I work with people too, and I'm working with a man right now, and he has a bad controlling kind of mom. His sister is always in some bullshit, and he told me he's having trouble with dating. And then so we're working together, and I work very in depth with people. I was like, just send me a video of what it looks like inside your house. And the house is completely disgusting. He has stuff everywhere. I'm talking like he lives in a small place in New York, and the place is completely trashed. The place is filled up with crap. Like he just has stuff everywhere. Above his toilet, he has 3 shelves filled with shit. In his medicine cabinet, just filled with shit. In his kitchen, filled with shit. And he had like a meat slicer. I'm like, why did you buy a meat slicer? Oh, it's gonna help me to meal prep. I was like, when was the last time you meal prepped? Like, I don't know, months ago. I was like, okay, please throw that away. You have to throw away all this crap that doesn't serve you. And your house is a representation of who you are. Okay. And yeah, Tim Jordan says the dirty external dirty house is a reflection of the internal. Exactly. And so in order to get here clean, you must have your living area clean. Anybody who's come over to any of my houses at any point in time, okay, you have to have it clean, what I call like psychopath clean. All right. Like you're walking into a demo home for when they're trying to sell you a house, or if you ever go to IKEA and it's really clean, your house needs to be psychopath clean. And here's why. It gets you more pussy. Now I got everybody's attention, right? Because a lot of these women, they live in squalor, bro. These women live in trashed apartments, trashed rooms, dirty houses, just completely disgusting. How many of you guys pulled a chick, right? Show of hands. I'll put my hand up first. How many of you guys pulled a chick? You got up to her front door. She's like, just give me 10 minutes. Let me clean up real quick. And she goes in there, cleans up everything, and then she lets you hit it raw, right? Because she's fucking cooked in her head too, right? And when you have a clean house and the girl comes over and she's like, damn, this guy's got his house clean, and I'm out here with a dirty, nasty, not put together home. Like, what the fuck? Andre says 100% agree. Thank you so much, Andre. Thank you for watching today. What I meant is if someone is a drinking buddy, he must remain such, not to become a business partner, because I've known him for a while. Toxics are out, period. No argument. Yeah, I would go even further that even, bro, like, so Andre, this is me at my level. Like, even if somebody, like, if a guy is a simp, I don't want nothing to do with him. If a guy doesn't have his shit together, I don't want anything to do with him. If a guy doesn't have his money right, why? What do we have in common? You're just going to pull me down. Think about that. Yep. Even their cars are nasty. This chick I dated before had a hamburger with a bite on it on her car. That's disgusting. And her car was full of dirty laundry. Sucia. Sucia. You know? You get rid of the toxic people, and then you build a house, and this is metaphorically speaking, right? You build a house, and then you put a fence around it. Me, I have a house with a fence around it, with barbed wire, with fucking alligators in a moat around it, with 50 caliber AI fucking machine guns all around my Casa de Hot Dude. Okay? Because guess what? You're not allowed to be part of greatness if you're not on that path yourself. We have nothing in common. Yep. Women all have these standards for men publicly, but privately bang fat, ugly dudes all the time. Yeah, exactly. They're all liars, bro. Okay? Well, yeah, exactly. I'm gonna build on this, my man. And Supreme Commander, I'm happy to hear that you're on the same kind of path as me, because this means you're doing the right things to overcome all that family abuse. And he says here, fuck bitches. I like my place clean because I like my place clean. Me too. LOL. But yeah, I can't stand nasty girls. Putting on clothes picked up off the floor is my pet peeve. Oh, gross. Yeah, that's nasty. That's nasty as hell. Yeah. Mindset TV, he says, Casa de Hot Dude. What's up, bro? Damn, you looking jacked. Send the cycle, man. Nah, I'm just fucking with you. But you got to go to the psychological poison in your head. You got to get it out. Okay? Because whoever abused you, like when you meet somebody who's a nasty, shitty person, it's most likely their parents or somebody that made them like that. They acquired these behaviors, right? That's why I work very hard not to get angry, right? Like, I'll get angry on here and scream and shit, but it's like not real anger, right? It's like, oh my God, I'm angry about this it's like an indignant anger. It's like I'm mad at the injustice. But like my day-to-day life, I'm pretty chill. Like I don't get mad if bad shit happens. Like you just learn to, it's like dust in the wind. It's fucking, sorry, my socks are threading. But like you don't get angry. So another thing is this, like if you come from a family of alcoholics, you should probably not drink. If you come from a family of drug users, you should probably not do drugs. Right? If you come from a fat family and they shame you for wanting to lose weight, fuck them. Stay healthy. Don't eat the bad food because, that shit's going to give you cancer and you're going to die. Right? Don't want to do that. Let me see. Tim Jordan says, you don't need to cut them off. 100% you don't need to cut them off harshly. Just fall back, focus on your goals. I had to cut this guy off. I was chilling with who was a simp, drunk, and insecure. Wish him the best though. But you say you don't need to cut them off harshly. You don't need to cut them off harshly, but you do need to cut them off. You do need to cut them off. That's for sure. Okay. Mindset TV says, I dated a stripper, nasty room, mounds of clothes everywhere, beer bottles and pizza boxes on the coffee table. Don't get me wrong, lots of fun. Yeah, true, facts. Hi, love from Mumbai, India. Hey, what's up, buddy? Alak Bar. No, I'm just joking. I know you guys don't do that out there. But she had to get on the program when she came to my place. Facts. Nice work. Nice work. Right? So you have to heal the trauma. So if you have anger issues, then you need to heal the anger issues. If you have addiction issues, you need to heal the addiction issues. If you have overeating problem, you need to handle that. If you have a spending problem, if you spend too much because of your compulsions, you need to handle that. Okay? It's so important that you do not end up like the people who abused you. Okay? They have to die alone with their shitty legacy of abuse and all that stuff. That's the truth. That legacy needs to die with them, and you need to be reborn. Okay? There are too many feminists in India. There's only one way, bro. There's only one way. Okay? So once you heal that, okay, the next thing you want to do is step 5, create a chosen family of people who are on the same mission, like I did. I built myself around people who are winners, students, business partners, and friends who are all building something, instead of staying loyal to people who are stuck, bitter, and secretly happy when you fail. You see, you have to rebuild your new family, right? Guys, I don't know if this makes me a weirdo, okay? Maybe it does, but I don't care. But I genuinely love talking to people who join my coaching programs. My monthly the monthly coaching community that we have right now is seriously such an amazing community, filled with so many amazing guys doing amazing things. These guys are stacking hundreds of thousands of dollars. These guys are making millions of dollars. Okay, these guys have beautiful girlfriends. All right, we got a guy, G Money, just lost his virginity. Okay, we have such a good group of people. I love my people. When I go to these meetups, I'm fucking happy. I'm never like, oh, I don't want to be here. I don't want to be here. I'm like so happy to see everybody. I'm so happy to be around. I'm so happy to eat food with you guys. You know, if we go have a couple casual drinks, that's fun too. But I genuinely love being around my like new family. You know, the only person who hasn't lost their mind in my family is my brother, right? And you know what it is? He got away from our family. He he got married to a very wonderful, good Christian Latina lady, and they have a good Latino family, and they're always going to church together. It's always somebody's birthday every weekend that they're having a party for, and they accept him, they love him, they take care of him, you know. And he has like a very healthy, normal, well-adjusted life because he got away from the chaos. He got away from the poison. You know, he got away from our broken family. And me and him, we talk to each other. We're all like, we're the last. We always say we're the last survivors of sanity in our family. You know. And my brother's a veteran. He's extremely good looking. My brother's better looking than me. He's taller. He's like 6'3", like blue eyes, so good looking, so smart, such a good guy. You know. And he has a beautiful wife. He has beautiful kids. You know, respectfully saying he has a beautiful wife. You know what I mean? But like he followed the thing that I did too. And we're both very successful people. Both got solar panels on our house now, nigga. What's up? Not paying no electric bill. Shout out to Florida, right? So super lit. Life's good, man. When we got to get away from it. You got to rebuild, right? And so, how do you rebuild? Good question, right? You rebuild by go finding people that you want to be around. I love to go into social media and digital marketing events, right? Because I just love to see like what's on the latest, greatest on the digital marketing side, like AI and, you know, automations. I'm building some automations behind the scenes and stuff right now, and it's just so cool. And I love to meet people like, oh man, you built this automation. I did too. How did it work out for you? Like those are my people. Crypto people, those are my people, right? People who like to live outside the United States, those are my people too. And people like you watching me. When I meet you guys, it's great times. It's super great times, you know? And you do not have to be alone. Don't think like you have to be this lone wolf person and, you know, just suck. And like life just needs, you just need to be alone and miserable because you come from a broken family. No, you can rebuild and have a good, beautiful family yourself. And that's like the ultimate, like, fuck you to the people who fucked you up. Build a beautiful family. Like, no, ass face, you can't be around us because you're a sick, fucked up person. And once you go heal yourself, then maybe we can give you a test run. But unless you haven't gone to therapy or healed yourself, like, fuck you, you don't get to be around me. It's a privilege to be around this thing that I have built. I am a builder. You're a destroyer. You can't sit with us. Okay? So we're gonna cover the final points here. But again, if you're feeling alone and you're feeling like you're not part of a community and you want to be part of a community and you want to be a part of a community of guys that are leveling up, going places, keeping each other accountable, being nice to each other, and a community of guys that want you to win, That's my monthly coaching. Take a look at this real quick.
What's up, guys? Thanks for watching today's video. We're going to get right back to that, but I want to tell you quickly about my coaching program, the Money Muscles Game Monthly. If you're having trouble getting women in your life, keeping them around, and getting dates, if you're having trouble with your finances, this is the program for you. It's a very simple program dedicated to solving those problems with you right now. Each of these coaching sessions are a group coaching session with live interaction on the second and fourth Sunday. Every month, we meet at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Zoom to discuss exactly what is going on with you, what problems you have, what roadblocks are in the way. And then from there, we come up with a special plan for you to get the results that you want. I know what you could say. There's all this free information on the internet. There's all these free content creators putting all this stuff out. If that were the case, the world would be healed by now, but it's not, okay? It's the blind leading the blind. You don't even know what's good information or not. You need a mentor. You need a group. You need a tribe, and you need to be held accountable. That's what you have in the Money Muscles Game Month. In addition to that, we have a free 24-hour support Telegram chat where you can link up with other like-minded men just like you who are dedicated to solving their dating and money problems right now. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, I want you to stop what you're doing right now, go to modernlifedating.com/monthly, sign up, and then you're gonna get an email sent to you with a Telegram link so you can join the Telegram chat and get on your plan to fix your problems immediately. Do not let another day go by where you silently suffer, lying to yourself, saying you're gonna figure it out, because you won't. You need help, you need a mentor, you need group support. That's what I am, that's what my community is. I've dragged myself from the depths of poverty to the tops of financial success. I've dated hundreds of women around the world. I can easily teach you how to do this, and it's a cakewalk. But it all starts with you going to modernlifedating.com/monthly and signing up today. Thanks so much, and let's get back to today's video.
So go to modernlifedating.com and get on the coaching program with us today. We're going to have a call very soon. Actually, this Sunday, we're going to call it 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And once you get to sign up with me, I also will be talking to you one-on-one, because we do an onboarding call. When I sit there and we talk about exactly why you're joining monthly coaching, how I can help you, and we come up with a custom game plan for you, because your problems are different from your brother's problems who's watching here with you as well. So you just go here, this is my website, modernlifedating.com, and then this is under the group coaching. So when you come to the website, it looks like this. Oops. Anyways, it goes here. You click group coaching, and just click on this big green button right there. And then once you go through the thing, it'll have you sign up, and then I'll get an email, and I will contact you directly within 24 hours, and we'll have a conversation, and we'll start getting your recovery plan going. But if you think you're going to do this on your own, guys, I'm just saying you're not. You need brotherhood. You need people helping you along the way. I had mentors and stuff helping me along the way. I did it all, like the effort wise, by myself, but I had people helping me, and I was signing up for stuff like this on the internet too. And thank God for YouTube, because it changed my life. Okay. And this is the link here in the chat as well. Ken Rose, $5 super chat, says, thumbs up, turkey. Thank you. Are you calling me a turkey? No, I know you're not, Ken. You're good. Excuse me. You're a good guy, Ken. Thanks for always being here. Tim Jordan says, realized that my life was like a poorly run, inefficient business. Got to make cuts to get sustainable, profitable growth pathway. Tim Jordan, the monthly coaching is for you, man. I am the guy. I mean, I literally showed the other day that on my last episode, like I've literally am a guy who has made millions of dollars. Like I'm not fake. I pull up the interface on my teachable.com and showed. I've done multiple millions in just course sales. Just course sales. Okay. So the community is here for you. Join us. We would love to have you. We're building a nice, strong community. Some people in the chat are there. And you got to understand that it's a lifelong game. It's going to take time. You know, when we say community, because we want you to join, we want you to stay, we want you to grow. We want to grow this community You know, one of my friends, I don't know if he watches because he's locked in. His name's Eduardo. He's in there. I really like this guy, and he found me from the YouTube, and he signed up, and he's been working with us since. Smart guy, has game. He's also like close to 50 pounds since being there, like has tremendous amount of investments, super smart guy. And it's just nice to be having people like that around you and in your community. So modernlifedating.com, and then sign up for the group coaching. Let's go back to this. So after when you create the chosen family, people on the same mission, you have to build it, and then guess what? Some people, when they come in, you're going to think they're good at first, and then you realize they're not good, right? You've seen that publicly with me. I first thought Charlie would be a good person. Then I found out he was fucking doing drugs and stealing people's money and shit. And I was like, okay, well, can't have him around. That's bad juju. Mac the Day Gamer, same thing. But then he turned out to be, this psychopath that I had to handle him in the streets. And, just the list goes on and on and on. There's a content creator recently I let borrow $5,000. Guy's been ghosting me and on the run for 7 months. And yes, he's black. Sorry, just had to throw that out there just for the memes. But yeah, let this guy borrow like $5,000 beginning of the year, and it's just been nothing but excuses, and running. So, when you bring people in, you got to kick them out too. When you realize they're not who they're, when they just kind of slip through the cracks, you got to get rid of them, and you got to realize, okay, this is not for me. This is not the person for me. And, I got to go. And by I got to go, I mean, I got to leave you, and you got to get out of my community. You got to get out of my life. And it's like a garden, right? A garden, you have to constantly, what do you have to do? You have to go into the garden, you have to cut away the dying, dirty little fucking leaves and stuff off the plants, right? If you have a basket of apples and you put one rotten apple, not even the middle, just at the top, what happens to the entire basket? The entire basket gets rotten and disgusting and erodes away. It kills everybody involved. So it's the same thing like these toxic people. There's no negotiation. They have to go. They have to go. There's no rationalization. There's no justification. They have to go. And they have to go forever. Unless they go do a lot of therapy and do a lot of good things to heal themselves, which most people won't do, right? They got to go. And that's it. That's it. It's over and done, right? And so the next one is step 6, right? And that is enforce hard boundaries with the old people, aka hold frame. Hold frame. Hold frame. You have to embrace the strength that you have within your heart, within your new way of living, to get rid of the old people. Okay? Emotionally cut them off. Digitally block them. I was in a car earlier. I was in a taxi earlier this year. It was like 1:45-ish. I was with these beautiful chicks. We were running around Tokyo. And then one of these girls, she was like, yeah, do you know this girl? I was like, oh, I think I have her blocked. And like, she was sitting next to me in the taxi. It was me and this other girl. It was like real fucking super hot, 6 foot tall, half white, half Japanese girl. This chick's so hot. Oh my God. She's 22. She's so hot. I want to bang her so bad, but she's only into black guys. Fucking sucks. But I was in the taxi with them going from C'est La Vie to One Oak nightclub. And I remember I was like, they're asking me about this girl, and I was like, I think I blocked her, right? And I was like looking through my Instagram, and the girl was sitting next to me. She was like, you have 681 people blocked on your Instagram? I was like, yeah, I just block liberally. If somebody annoys me on Instagram, it's like, block, see you later, fuck you. I got to get back to work. I got to get back to the money, baby. But I liberally block people, and I'll just continue like nothing ever happened, because it's a privilege to be around me. Because I've cultivated a life of work and self-development and character development to become an amazing person who can do amazing things and make large amounts of money and be free and help heal minds and help heal relationships and help guys get girlfriends, get wives. I've been doing this for 10 plus years, bro. You think I'm just going to let any old vagabond come into my life and fucking ruin everything? No. No, 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 no. No. Oh, yeah, bro. Super cycle, bro. Karura to the moon. I lost $67,000 because of Karura, because of Charlie. And what did he say? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. $67,000 I lost in Karura. 67,000 to zero. Because I was just around a bunch of dum-dums. Okay? Emotionally cut them off. Digitally cut them off. Legally, if you have to press charges and get a fucking restraining order, whatever, physically move away. Okay? I've had to do it. Online attacks. I had to deal with all this shit. Anyone trying to drag you back into the old hell that you used to live in must go. Okay? And test the woman. Test the women you're with. Test them. Test the women you're with. Be upfront. Like, this is exactly what I want. This is exactly what I want. And if she can't give it to you, peace. You got to go. Because if she can't do it, you'll find a girl who can. There's an abundance of women out there, bro. A beautiful woman turns 18 every day, man. Okay? But guess what? High quality men who work on themselves, who are not simps, who are trying to level up, money, muscles, game frame, who's more rare? We got an army of losers out there. Who's more rare? If you're an actually high value man, you're not fat, you're not broke, you're not simping, you have self-esteem, okay, now you're a high value man. And if that's you and you're tolerating bullshit, then gotta go. Okay? So, next one. You have to defend the boundaries, okay? That's 6. So, number 7, and actually I'm going to, okay, we'll just do 7 as the last one, okay? So, 7 is the last one, and this is a special way you can heal. Once you have your shit together, and then you realize somebody is near you doing something wrong and they want help, then you can help them. But they must want help. They must want help. Like if you catch you have a friend and you know his girlfriend's cheating or you know his girlfriend's a hoe, right? And you try to tell him, he's like, no, she's not. You text her and you try to bang her, she's like, yeah, let's hang out. You show it to him, he's like, no. Okay, he can't be helped. He's lost. So don't try to force help upon people. Find people that want help, that need help, and by you helping them with their abusive situation, their emotional abuse, their family abuse, whatever, that helps you solidify the healing within yourself. Because you're reinforcing it. And that's what you need to do moving forward also. You have to reinforce your standards. You have to reinforce your lifestyle. You have to reinforce your community, the new family that you've built, right? Like last year, I didn't go home for Christmas, and because I just have a fucked up, broken family, 100% due to my mom, because my mom makes trouble with my brother's wife, and then so they're just like, yeah, we're still gonna deal with you, and I was like, yeah, I completely agree. Why would you deal with this crazy bitch? All she wants to do is make trouble. You could just shut the fuck up and be a good grandmother, buy some presents, pray over the kids, read the Bible, but instead you want to be an annoying, dumb bitch that nobody in the family likes, then yeah, fucking sit at home and do nothing on Christmas with your fucking loser husband. Fuck both of you. So last year in Christmas, I could have been like, well, I'm in Christmas and I'm in Tokyo, I'm by myself. Fuck that. I went out in Japan, just, Christmas trees are crazy expensive, like $500, because these godless heathens don't believe in the Lord Jesus Christ. That's why everybody in Japan is going to hell. That's what they used to tell me in church. Everybody who doesn't believe in Jesus is going to hell. I'm like, what about the people in China who just didn't have a chance? They're going to hell. India, going to hell. Japan, hell. Thailand, hell. What about hell? Vietnam, hell. Laos, hell. Taiwan, hell. All of them? All of them. Okay, cool. But last year, I went out. I dropped like $400 or $500 on a fucking Christmas tree. I decorated the Christmas tree. I put presents under there, and I invited people over. And I was like, "Fuck this! I'm gonna have a Merry Christmas. I'm gonna have a Christmas party. I got everybody who came over. I bought them little small presents, you know." And I said, "I'm gonna have a Merry Christmas. I don't need a fucking family to have a Merry Christmas. I'm the family now, and I'm me and happy." And all my people that came over last year, we had a very Merry Christmas. Guess what? I'm having a Merry Christmas this year too. In this, my anonymous place here in Tokyo, we're going to have Merry Christmas as well. See, look at this. It says, "Wish you a Merry Christmas." I intentionally put Merry Christmas up here because I like Christmas. Okay. And I've got the Christmas joy. I was lucky enough to get a Christmas robe with my initials on it from Versace. You know, I will not go quietly into the night. I will be a very happy person who enjoys my life. And I don't care about what anybody tries to pull me down, hold me down. I'm going to be happy. I'm going to make my life. And you can too. Because I probably came from a way more abusive situation than you have. And if you didn't, you heard my story and yours is worth, my heart goes out to you, and you need to do this even more. And if you need help, join my monthly coaching. Come talk to me, and I will help you. Because that's what I do. That's what I've been doing all these years. Okay? So that is the holiday lesson for you all. Let's run down them one more time. I'll read them through you one more time. Remember number one is identify the abuse. Tell the truth. Don't lie. Don't make up excuses. Don't justify what happened to you. You were treated poorly. Identify it, label it. That's how you build real confidence. That's how you build real self-esteem. Number two, cut them off, cut them off, cut them off, cut them off. Your nervous system will thank you later. You need to get to a place of peace. Cut them off, get away immediately. Number three, build a new identity. Who are you? Who do you want to be? What do you like? Everything that you choose is okay because it's your choice. Okay. Number four, heal the pain, heal the trauma, do work. If you need to talk to a good therapist, if you need to do some hypnotherapy, we have people in our community, but you need to build a new identity and heal yourself from the psychological poison because you are poisoned. Okay. Number five, get rid of the old people and keep them out and away. Keep them out and away by choosing new people and creating a new family around you. You create a new family, a new brotherhood, a new friendship. And it's going to take time. You got to build it from the ground up, but it's the best feeling in the world. Okay. Number six, enforce the old boundaries. Oh, excuse me. Enforce the old people out of your life. Block them, cut them off, keep them away from you legally, digitally, physically, like the Holocaust. Never again. Okay. Never again. Number seven is the final one. You know, help people who need to be helped, and you do that by reinforcing your current belief systems. You got to do maintenance, you know, on your mind, your life, journaling, training, financial discipline, whatever the case may be. You have to consistently get used to doing it day in and day out. All right. That's the most important part. So I just wanted to come here on Thanksgiving and say that you are all great people. Thank you for being here. Thanks for watching. Hit that like, hit that subscribe, and join me in monthly coaching. And I'll talk to you within the first 24 hours of you signing up. Until then, we'll be back tomorrow, free consultation Friday. And this Saturday night is Midnight MLD, the Simp Confession Booth. Saturday night is the Simp Confession Booth. So come on down. I love you all. Love you all. Love you all. Peace out.